Okay, this call is now being, this webinar is now being recorded. Again, like I said, this is Tim Davis coming to you guys from the Bullish Bears team. For all of you guys who are following us through a recording, just want to welcome you guys as well. Pretty much what I wanted to do in this particular webinar, because I see we have a lot of new people joining, and we have a lot of people here who are experienced, and a lot of people here who are not that experienced, a lot of people here who are new and just seeing all this information. And probably in their mind, they're wondering what the heck is going on. But trust me, the longer you watch, the more you'll understand different methods. I mean, there's a lot of different type of traders here in this community. There's a lot of different type of investors and traders in the world, period, altogether. You got the Warren Buffett style. Then you got the Warren Buffett. I guess you got the Warren Buffett style who may look to be able to hold and find something that may be good long term. And you got the day trader who just want to be able to the day trader who may want to be able to, to make some quick money in day trades. And then you got the swing trader who want to be able to be in something for a couple of days. Maybe they don't have that type of funds or the time allotted to be able to to be able to day trade, like a lot of the day traders. Then you got the option traders. Option traders, they're a variety of different type of people who trade options for various different reasons. A lot of people say the options can be risky. I say it's all about how much you know about options. Any trade can be risky. I mean, you can get into an Apple trade, and buy 100 shares of Apple, and all of a sudden it drops $10. You'll lose a lot more money if it drops $10 than an option trader will. Option trader only is going to risk the small amount of money that he put up to buy that contract. More money if he was to have 100 shares of actual Apple at $130 a piece than the actual option trader would. So there's all types of traders here. All right. So what I wanted to do is just show you guys somebody's strategy, which is going to be what I normally do when I decide that I want to trade something, and I'm going to show you my style or even my method from beginning to end, or even how if this is going to be something good that I want to trade, because I'm more or less of a long-term swing trader. Long-term trader, I don't trade a lot of regular stocks. I do mostly options. So I may be in my trades maybe days at a time, weeks, or sometimes months at a time. Every now and then I do find some trades that I may want to get into long term, that I may want to invest in versus just trading. I may get in something and decide to hold it for a couple of years or so. But the majority of my trades are option trades where I plan on maybe being in it for a couple of days or a couple of weeks or a couple of years. Will, you said that your audio is not working? Stand by, guys. So I'm going to just go for a walkthrough of my trade decision. That's pretty much what this is going to be about. My walkthrough trade decision, and show you some things that can make a difference when you decide to make a trade. You can't rely on one thing if you want to have a better chance of success. You want to rely on multiple things in order to have some success. My audio isn't working either. Okay. For all you guys, stand by, guys. I'm just make sure I get everybody else caught up with the audio if I can help them out. Click microphone. Don't see anything either. Microphone, upper left corner. Okay, and all you it'll ask. Thank you, Chris, for helping them out. Thanks, Chris. So I'm gonna continue, and anybody else who hops on who having audio problems or visual problems, if somebody else can help them out, where I can continue to continue the webinar, I greatly appreciate it. Unfortunately, I don't have one of my partners on here tonight, so I'm kind of like doing dual tasks tonight. All right, so that's what I'm gonna start with. I'm gonna start with letting you guys know that me personally, I use many different resources in order for me to be comfortable within the trade. Some people don't. Some people use one resource. Some people may find something that they like to trade because it's a popular name like Apple or Netflix. You can do that. You just got to know when it's trending. I like to trade stocks that are trending. What do I mean by trending? Let me show you an example. So if for some reason I wanted to get into an Apple trade, all right, and that's another thing too. For you new traders, you want to learn how to read and understand these charts, because understanding charts can be a big thing. I did a webinar on that not too long ago. It should be in our archives in our YouTube channel. But I'm gonna go over a brief synopsis of this charting system. My charting system, it consists of a Bollinger Band, which is this shaded area here. It's a technical indicator. I did a video too on technical indicators not too long ago. But I use stockcharts.com. You guys probably see a lot of the members and a lot of our people who've been around for a while. They use Thinkorswim. Me personally, I've been using stockcharts.com for ever since I started trading, and you guys will know I've only been trading now since 2015, December 2015. So this is not rocket science. You just got to put a lot of time, effort, and money into this if you decided that you really, really want to learn how to do this. Okay, so I started trading in 2015, learned a lot in a year, and a lot of the information that I learned, most of it was self-taught. Most of it was self-taught through the internet, through researching, through Googling, through YouTube, through finding anything I cared on the internet about trading. I'm more of a visual learner, so most of my stuff is found through self-teaching myself through the internet. So this is a chart of Apple, a daily chart over the past 1 year, 2 months. Over here in the bottom left-hand corner, let me see if I can. Over in the bottom left-hand corner where my cursor is, it shows the chart attributes. This is my time frame, or my period is daily. The amount of the length is years. I got 1 year, 1 month, 20 days. Time period is daily. So that's what this chart is. It's a daily chart of Apple over the past year. Okay, and what I look for, if for some reason I wanted to trade this, I want to find a trend. In other words, and I'm gonna actually annotate this. I want you guys to see what I mean by a trend. You could probably see a trend formed on my chart already, but I want to highlight it so you guys will see. For some reason, I wanted to trade this stock. Me personally, I'm going to look for a trend. I don't want to get into a stock that that probably has been trending for a while, because it's a huge possible chance that it may be about to experience a correction. Correction meaning some type of pullback, such as let me get this thing out the way. Such as right here. Apple traded right here from March. See if I can see this. From February of 2016 to April of 2016, between $89 or $90 up to $10. Okay, that was a trend. It formed an uptrend pattern. It started trending upward. Okay, even though you have some pullbacks in here, like you see these red candles. These red candles represent a down day, but overall, it was trending upward. And I was able to define that trend because I saw the little curve here, and then I saw the momentum start to trend upward. I look for momentum. And I was able to determine that it appears as though that Apple was about to do some type of change here. As you see this kind of turn here starting to happen. So that made me believe that some type of trend was about to appear. So now what I want to look for to try to confirm that trend, let's see, how do I watch? So now what I want to do to try to confirm that trend, Jeanette, if you're listening, if you can hear me, you have to actually have a computer in order for you to be able to see. And once I accept you, you should automatically be able to see my screen. It's a screen sharing session, so you probably need to be on your computer. So once I'm able to confirm this trend, what happens is I have Bollinger Bands in here, which is this shaded area. Now, as you can see, the Bollinger Bands are starting to turn as well, and it's starting to go in succession with my in concession with the actual price of the stock. Price of the stock is the candlesticks that are moving up and down. And as you can see, they're moving up and down, but they're moving up and down going upward. You don't see a change until you get to this point where it gets to 110. Then what you see the outer Bollinger Band continue to go higher, but the lower Bollinger Band start to turn and go lower. You probably can't see this because my Bollinger Bands are kind of light. In the center of the Bollinger Band, there's a dotted line. These lines that I have that you see that's crossing through the Bollinger Bands, these are called moving averages lines. Moving averages pretty much track a stock movement over a period of time, okay? You can add yours in here. Ones that I have in here is, and this is exponential moving averages line because it's kind of tighter. It's kind of closer to price movement. I have a 20-day moving average line. I have a 50-day, which is in purple. The 20-day is in red. My 100-day, which is what I have, is in orange. My 200-day is in brown. When I have it set up, when the red when the red moving average line is on the bottom of all the other three, that's normally telling me that this stock is pretty much headed downward in a bearish sentiment. Okay, so back here, when you see the red one on the bottom here, and it's trending down, that's pretty much a bearish sentiment. When the other three are in concession, which means in numbers, in other words, 20, that 50 comes at the 20, after 50 comes 100, after 100 comes 200. When they're all in sync like that, and they all consecutively in sync, 20, 50, 100, and then the 200 on top, that's a strong bearish sentiment, which means it's in a strong downtrend. Okay, so that's what happened here. But what happened down here when you started to see this turn, what helped me confirm that this trend was probably changing was that the 20-day moving average line started to turn along with the price of the stock, and it started to travel upward. And what does it do first? First it crosses the 50-day moving average line, which is a great sign. Then it goes up to the 100-day moving. Then it goes up to the 100-day moving average line, and it crosses that one as well. That's still a strong sign of an uptrend. Then it goes up to the 200-day, and it stops, and it starts a downturn. Once this 20-day starts to turn along with the stock, you can pretty much say that an upward trend is starting. You don't know how high it's going to go. So what I normally do is if I'm in the stock, if I got into it down here, I will say that my moving averages lines, they're going to act as a point of resistance. In other words, the price of the stock will probably at least go to that line and decide if it's going to go higher or not. So I may put a stop loss. I normally don't use stop loss. I may put a mental note and say that I can at least get from $90 up into this point right here. Up into that point right there. And that point right there may be about $96. I may be able to get a $6 move out of this. So I may close my trade out there, but it all depends on what I see. If I see, I may wait a couple days. If I see the 20-day moving average line is continuing to go higher, prices also continue to go higher, I'll stay. I'll stay until I see this moving average line start to turn, or until I get up to a point where I see a big change, which is what I saw here. What I saw here when it got up to this peak here, I saw that the candlesticks were very close to the top of the Bollinger Band. Bollinger Band starts to split up and go higher without the stock following. Then I saw a huge big red candle. Saw the Bollinger Band, the 20-day moving average line start to cross the center of my Bollinger Band system, which is the dotted line. It started to cross the center of that, and it's on the left. It's on the bottom part of the dotted lines, and it's heading downward. So I know this trend is probably about to upward trend is probably about to change. So I probably would have sold it somewhere around here when I started to see this consolidation. So I could have got about $90 up to about, good $105 move out of it. That's good enough for me. So now that trend has changed. So now what you have a different trend that's starting to form now. A downtrend started forming. Downtrend formed. And then if you notice the downtrend form, and what you'll see, if you can if you start to really pay attention to this stuff, you'll see something happening that happened before. This area that price is at now, you know what? We were here before. We were here before. We were right in the same area before. So what happens is this now is called a support area. So normally what happens when a downtrend happens, it's going to at least test this area because this is a strong area of support. It hit these numbers several times. So it's going to test that area before it decides to go lower. And more than likely what will happen is it'll bounce off of this area. So that's going to be called my resistance area, our resistance point. So what happened? Price sure did it. It did exactly what I thought it was going to do. It went up, dropped down to this point again, and it decided to march and go higher. So now once it starts to march and go higher, a new uptrend is formed. So what you're following now, you're following the track of the price of the stock, which is the candlesticks going higher. You're tracking the moving averages line, trying to see how far they go. And as you can see, this time, the 20-day moving average line, it didn't cross the rest of them. It stopped early. So this was not a strong uptrend, not yet. So what's happening was this actually formed what's called a double bottom. You got a bottom here, you got a bottom here. Actually, triple bottom. You got a bottom here, bottom here, bottom here, and then price finally takes off and it surpasses where the uptrend stopped last time. So now you're in a confirmed uptrend, and this time when the 20-day moving average line starts to cross, it finally crosses all three and continues the uptrending pattern. Even though I had these pullbacks, it's staying on top now. So it's staying on top now, which confirms to me that this pattern is going to continue to trend higher. All right, so that's just one, thing that I look for before I decide to trade a stock. I want to make sure it's trending. Okay. You guys got that part so far? I'm looking for trends. I want to make sure a stock is trending before I decide to trade it, because if it's not trending, it's not going to do me any justice. All right. Hope you guys got that part so far. All right. Now, another thing that you want to consider when you do decide to see, because all of this information from this point, draw a line. You can see what happened, but draw a line here. Everything from that point all the way up to here, none of this information was available to you. All you knew at the time, you just saw this right here. Okay, if you was only looking at this time frame. So you had no idea it was going to do all this. Okay, so you want to try to find something that's going to help confirm your decision to stay in this thing, from here through these pullbacks all the way up to here. You need something else. Okay, so what else I want to look for? I want to see if I can find any news which helps me confirm that this may be getting ready to turn into this uptrend and maybe to continue to go higher. So what I might do is I might look through some other resources or some other tools that I personally use to help confirm my decision. Okay, some of those other resources that I use, I may go to Google, and I may Google's Apple, AAPL. And what I'm looking for, I may be looking for some type of news. I mean, did something happen which caused Apple to drop to that point, and maybe something happened that's going to cause Apple to continue to go higher. Maybe earnings just came out, or earnings report came out, and something good happened to Apple. They maybe up their evaluation for 2017 and say they expect for their growth to continue to go higher because they're doing this, they're doing that. They may be cut back on their debt. They may be looking for higher guidance because of something new that may be coming out within their company over the next 12 months. So you want to look for some type of positive news as well. Or not only just positive news, you want to also look to see what the overall thinking is of other analysts, of professional analysts. because me, you, and I, we're just retail traders trying to find information. Okay, so you want to try to see if you can find any information about professional analysts and try to see what their take is on this particular stock. You know what I'm saying? If you have, a 15 if you have 10 out of 15 analysts saying it's a buy signal or it's a hold signal and no sell signal, that may be, some more information that you can use to help you say, well, I believe Apple's going to continue to go higher. So that trend that I'm seeing forming could be a very, very good trend. I may want to get in now. So if you Google Apple, you may see something that says, the very first article I see is it says Credit Suisse lifts price target on Apple. That's a good sign. That's some good news. You got at least one analyst who's lifting their price target where they saying Apple's price, their stock price could be going higher than what it is. Credit Suisse lifts Apple's price target to $160 a share. Okay, so that's some good news. You can feed off of that news. Okay, then you can also scroll down and find some other news on Apple. Another resource that I like to use to find news, or even find not only news, but you can find information as far as a company's finance sheet or finance report. You can go to yahoofinance.com. I'm not going to actually punch in one here because I like using the app on my smartphone. The app on your smartphone is a little bit faster than, for some reason, for me anyway, than using this information to try to find it on online. So I have I have Yahoo Finance app on my phone. I'll use that to find information about any company that I want to research. And what you'll find there, you'll find the company's balance sheet. You'll find analyst estimations. If you guys follow us mostly on our Facebook page, you'll see that a lot of times I may even post some information that I just found on Yahoo Finance on my smartphone. I'll actually post it online and show you guys what they are actually doing for the day. And also, if you continue to use that app, there's a lot of other things that you can also do with Yahoo Finance. Yahoo Finance is a great source of information to help you confirm, information about a company. Get news about a company. You can get up-to-date direction as far as stock direction, what the price is doing for the day. You can get history. You can get a lot of information on your Yahoo Finance app. But that's one app that I use. I also use another resource called Zacks. Zacks is also another investment resource I use. They also have an app also that I use, and they also give you analyst estimations. Like I say, I may go to Zacks, and Zacks will show me how many analysts are bullish on this stock. Okay, so if you get that information and you see that you got 15 analysts out of 20 who are saying it's a buy rating, and you got 5 saying it's a hold rating, and you have 0 saying a sell rating, that also can add to your conviction to get into a bullish trade on that stock. All right, so that's other resources that you can use as well. All right. Also, I have a habit of using FinViz a lot, because FinViz can give you a lot of information. This is more like I use it more or less for a screener, but you can also type in Apple on here, and it'll also give you information about the stock and also news as well. But I'm going to show you guys some other things that I do with FinViz that may be helpful for you to use as a screener. I'm going to show you that later. But another resource that I am very bullish on, that I love a lot, is barchart.com. This is a free resource. I do have a paid resource that I'm going to show you guys that I use a lot that also helps confirm my decision. I'm going to show you guys that in a minute. But on barchart.com, since I do trade a lot of options, what I look for is a stock that's very liquid. Very liquid meaning it trades a lot. It has a lot of volume. And if I'm looking to buy an option, I want to make sure that it has a lot of volume in the regular stock price, but I also want to make sure it has a lot of volume in options as well. So this is a free resource that I use. I always use the old site because that's what I'm used to using. I don't like this new one. I'm so used to using the old one, so I always use the old site and I'll switch over to the old one. So what you're able to do with bar chart is it gives you a lot of information about a particular stock. As you can see here, got some good information. It gives you the chart of the day. But I'm trying to get to the search bar. As soon as it pops up, let's go to stocks. Let's go to stocks first. So I wanted to get some more information on Apple. I'll type it in this block here because I just clicked on stocks, and I'll hit go. And I want to see what pops up. This is not what I was looking for, I don't think. Hold on. Let me try to go higher. That's not what I'm looking for. Hold on 1 second. Try this again. AAPL. That's a drop down for Apple. Click on Apple. Here we go. This is what I'm looking for. All right. So once you click on stocks, put in your symbol here. Once it pops up, you click on it and you hit go, and you'll get a little readout about Apple. And this is bar charts rating on Apple for as we speak right now. As of right now, they have a rating of, I'm trying to scroll down so you guys can see it. Overall average rating right now of 80%. Is considered a strong buy. So they're also confirming, my bullishness on the stock itself. Okay. And there's a lot of information you can see. And you can see the high for the day. You can see the low for the day. It shows you the 52-week high. Shows you the 52-week low. Okay. Shows you the open. Shows you the close. And if you used to click on, I guess more headlines, it'll probably give you some more information about the stock as well. So I use this also to my advantage to see what, barchart.com is giving the, outlook for this particular stock. Now for options, if you go click on the options button, and if you use to type in Apple, after we finish this example, I'm gonna take you back to my chart that I was looking at on Apple, and I'm gonna show you some don'ts that I don't do, even if I see the stock has trended all the way up to $30. I'm gonna show you some things that I don't want to do. All right, let's go. You guys understanding some of this information that we're going over tonight? If you all just type me and say yes. Okay, now, here is what's called an option chain. For you new people, you really won't understand totally what an option chain is. If you want to totally understand it, you can go to our website at www.bullishbears.com, and you can take our options course there, and you'll learn more about options. But I just want to show you some of my reasons that helps me to decide to trade a stock or not. I trade options. So what I'm looking for as far as options, now that I already saw that, some of the analysts are already, I got 15 out of 20 analysts saying, hey, this is a good buy. I got my charting software, shows me that it's trending higher. It's in an uptrend. It's not in a downtrend. I looked at some news that said Apple's guidance as far as their stock price has been raised up to $160 a share and is now only at $140. So I got all these positives going for me right now. All right, now I want to look for an option. If for some reason I wanted to buy an option, I'm looking for liquidity in that particular stock. Liquidity meaning that I see a whole bunch of different dates that they offer. Some stocks you might pull up, as you might see these dates that I'm highlighting here. They may only have about 3 or 4. This one has many. That means this option chain is very liquid. That's what I like to see when I want to trade an option. Even if you don't see this, another thing you want to look for, let me pick one of these months here. You want to look for option volume. Option value and actual stock price volume is a little different. And I'm going to see if I can show you what I mean by looking at the May contracts for Apple. And as you see, this column right here, where it says volume, if you go all the way down as we get closer to the center point, which is where the stock price is currently closely trading to, mostly trading to around 135, between 135 and 140. All this area down here, you'll see there's a lot of volume here, a lot of volume, and there's a lot of open interest. That lets me know that there's a lot of people that's interested in trading these options, okay? And on the put side, which is when you play an option when it's going down, you won't understand this right now if you didn't take my other options course. But I'm just showing you guys all the action that's taking place. When you see a lot of action taking place, that's another sign that this stock is ready to make a move, up or down, okay? Let me see if I skipped any other resource. And I'm going to show you guys one other resource, but I'm going to go back to this Apple chart. I want to show you some don'ts that I don't like to do. If for some reason I wanted to trade this stock in a bullish fashion. Bullish fashion means that I believe it's going to go higher. Now, if I wanted to get into this stock now, I'll be a little leery about getting into it now. Only reason being is because it already made a significant move. It made a significant move from that 89 all the way up to where it is now. And on this indicator at the top of my chart is called the RSI, which is a relative strength indicator. Once it reaches past 50 and it heads up to above 70, it stays up there for a long time, that's considered an overbought area. It's been in this overbought area for quite some time, okay? Which means to me that eventually, as you can see, it started to, it's going down, coming down, coming down. It's like it's ready to come out of this overbought area, okay? So if I wanted to trade this stock because I saw this thing is really trending higher, you never, and this is called, when it's this high, this is called a resistance point. You never want to buy resistance. You always want to buy at a low point. So in other words, I would have wanted to buy this move somewhere down here where it dropped back and then it started to continue to go higher, or down here, or down here. I wouldn't like to buy it up here, or up here, or up here, or up here, or up here. You want to try to buy it at a point of support where the stock jumps up and it pulled back. That's where you want to try to find that's your best point of entry. If you can find these points to get into where stock pulls back, that's your best point of entry to get this big move. Okay. Now, I'm gonna show you one of the stocks that I got into last week, and I'm gonna show you an example of getting in at a good point of entry. You guys may have seen us talk about this particular stock throughout the past couple of days or so, and it's called AMD Advanced Mobile Devices. I think that's what it's called. Wait a minute. Somebody took over my screen. I don't know how that happened, but we're going to have to change that. Okay. Somebody took over my screen. I'm not sure how that happened, but we're going to try to change that back. Who's that? Is that Billy? Okay. You can now control it. Okay, I think I got it back. I'm trying to get it back. Bear with me, guys, because there's something happening here that's unusual. If you can hear me, the person who just took over the screen, when I hit request back, send it back to me. I can hear somebody in the background, so.
Hey, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. How did you get control of my screen?
Bro, I have no idea.
Okay, all right, hold tight. Can you now see what a little orange button said? It has a little mouse.
Yeah.
Mouse. You click on that.
Okay.
And it says, and see where it says past presenter role? Yeah. Let's see.
Ben, right?
It should be 10. I don't know how you got control of this. Click on Lucien Bears. Lucien Bears. Lucien Bears. Yeah, that one. Okay, and that should be me. Wait a minute. Let me see. Wait for new presenter. Are you passing? Okay.
My bad, bro.
You got passing the presenting role to Lucien Bears. Let me see. I should be able to set. Okay, I got it back. All right, Ben, are you still there? If you're still there, just type and say yes, you are. Sorry about that, y'all. It said Bill took it over. I got it back. Hopefully, Bill can still hear me. That's never happened before. That's the first time on that. All right, now let me get back to where I was trying to take you guys to. All right, so AMD is one that I traded this week, and I'm gonna show you why. AMD. All right, one of the main reasons that I've been interested in AMD, and I'm gonna show you reasons. One of the reasons why. So I gave you guys just a little quick synopsis of the charts that of a charting system. Now with AMD, and even with Apple, all the information I just gave you guys of my steps as far as what I look at to try to make a decision. I use all of that. But I also want to see, because I may be in a stock for a couple months or maybe even a couple years. Because if it doesn't go my way, I want to make sure I give myself time in order to in order to make up for my entry point. All right. Now with AMD, I'm showing you guys a daily chart, and then I'm gonna show you guys a couple other charts to show you guys a strong trending pattern. All right. With this chart of AMD, this is what I saw. First of all, on the daily chart, I saw. I know this is a semiconductor. I know a lot of semiconductors are getting a lot of action because of their business in the chip world. And the chip world is kind of busy right now because a lot of the chips are being used in all types of electronics, especially in autonomous cars, or a lot of the technology in cars today. So that particular sector has been really getting a lot of attention. All right, so this is what I saw. I saw how this chart has been very bullish. If you look all the way down at the bottom of the chart, in February of 2016, it was at $1.75. Then it started snaking higher. In other words, it goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. One thing I like that I tell you guys I look for is I want to make sure the price crosses. I love to see price cross over all four of my moving averages lines and just stay on top. That's what I like to see. So I see the price cross over all the moving averages lines. I have my 20-day moving average line that's starting to follow price as well, which is a good thing. So what happened from 2016, it continued to go higher, pops up, goes back down. And as it's going higher, a lot of people who understand price movement, okay, when you see it dropping, you see the red candle, some people get scared and they'll sell. But if it's staying above these lines, and these lines act as a point of resistance and support, to bounces off of it and continues to go up higher, then why not just stick with it? The only time I probably would have really thought about selling is when it went from this 181 all the way up to $8, and then it got here and it didn't bounce off the 20-day. It went through it. I may have thought about taking some of my profit off the table then. That's a nice move from 175 up to $8. You know, I'll take profit here at 720 and look to get back in. What I'm looking for at that point, I'm looking to see if it bounces off one of these other lines. If it does, I may consider getting back in to make another run, which it did. It dropped through the 20-day, the 50-day, went down to the 100-day, and took a bounce. Bounced back to the 100-day, so it bounced off of it twice. One here, one here. After the second bounce, it marched higher again. All right. So what I normally look for, a bounce where I can get in and probably get some of this money as well. So when I was watching, I was looking to see a bounce. I saw a bounce the other day, and this is the one that I saw. I saw the price went up to 1555, which is a high, and I'm gonna show you guys a longer term chart and show you how secure that high is. And it went down just below the 20-day moving average line. So I consider that to be a bounce, and it went back above it, and it jumped again. So it looked like it's trying to go a little bit higher than this 1555. So it took a bounce off of this particular line. So I got in right here. So I got in, and I probably made about $1 already. So it's a possible chance that this stock is going to go higher. So what did I start doing? I looked at news, and what I saw two good articles this week. One that I saw, I looked on, I saw it on one of my resources that I use. I want to say it was on, yahoofinance.com, that advanced micro devices have now been added back to the S&P 500, which is a big deal. That's good news. I also saw an article about their outlook on 2017. It was phenomenal about their plans and their growth plans for 2016. Okay, that kind of like confirms this trend. Those two news articles right now help confirm this trend. But not only that, check this out. I like to look at history of stocks too, because I want to see history and see if a stock really has a pattern of doing good over time. So we're now looking at a daily chart. So, I want to go back and check and see how has this stock done over time, and where is some of its support and resistance levels at. So this is a daily chart. Okay, well, let's look at a weekly chart and see if the weekly charts are just as strong. So let's look at a weekly chart over the past. We looked at 1 year, so let's go back about 4 years. Let's see what that looks like. So we got this positive news, we got this daily chart looking good, and lo and behold, look at this big steep move. It was trending below the 200-day moving average. I told you this is the bearish line to me. It was price was staying below this 200-day moving average line until it got here, which is around April of 2016, and finally broke above it, and it hasn't looked back since. So that's a strong trend. When you see a weekly chart that's showing you a strong upward momentum, that's very strong. It's telling you that for weeks at a time, this stock can be strong. Even though you had these pullbacks for weeks, up here around August and September, it dropped from this $8 mark all the way back down to $5.66, but it stayed above the 20-day moving average line and went higher and continued this upward pattern. This is where we are now. My synopsis is what I believe could happen. It may do a pullback. It may pull back a little bit more because you got this pattern here, got a pattern here. It's like it's going to go higher. It may test this 1555, may do a pullback after that, but who knows? I'm not 100% sure yet. Okay, but I'm looking forward to eventually break this 1555 mark. That's probably when I'll probably sell and take some profits eventually. Okay, so this upward move is very strong. You have the moving averages lines that are all falling in place. The 20 is on top now. The 50 is below it. 100 is below that. And the 200 is below that. And what I expect to see happen over the coming course of the year is for these lines to even for this 200 to get further apart, for them to have a nice gap between all four of them, and for them to continue to march higher from now to the end of the year. With these pullbacks, of course. You got a pullback there, pullback here, pullback here. You're going to have these on the way. But as long as it's not pulling back way down here and it's only touching these lines, that's still a strong upward motion pattern. So that's a weekly chart. Okay, that's fine and dandy. What does the monthly look like? Does the monthly show me this same type of movement? So let's look at a monthly chart. Let's go back 15 years. If I have all of these charts showing me a strong upward momentum, I think we'll be good to trade this stock for quite some time. And lo and behold, the monthly chart is like it's just beginning. It's just beginning pretty much. The 20-day moving average line has not even breached the 200 yet. So this telling me it has room to run over time. Okay, it's going to have some pullbacks, but it has room to run over time. You got positive guidance on the news. You got positive guidance on the company. Okay, you got positive guidance on the semiconductor sector, because the semiconductors are involved in a lot of the chip making. Okay, so what I'm looking for now is I see this 1555, which I showed you guys on the daily chart. We went to that point and bounced back, which is this red candle now. So this month, pretty much, up and down, up and down. So I'm looking for a positive month to happen soon. What you have here, you can draw a line from where price was before and what you can expect. I call those support and resistance lines. That's what they're called, when you can find what price was before and where you're at now. That's where we was at before. We hit that 1555 not too long ago. And if you go back here in time, you can see where we hit those prices, around those prices before. You got a green candle here, which is like right at the tip of the line, a red candle right at the tip of the line where price was coming down. So this area is a strong area of support resistance. We may test this area for a little while before it goes higher. If we break this line, you look above it where it was at before. If we break this line, the next target price that I can see is at least 1760. That's the next target area I see, at least 1760, or then on to 1850, and then on to $20.60. I can see this stock hitting one of these prices before the end of this year. That's how you see momentum. You check time frame. You want to see what this stock has done before, okay? Because normally you'll start to see this as you're starting to trade stocks. Stocks that have history, of course. They try to repeat areas that it's been at before. It wants to get to that point. Okay, that's called a previous resistance point. Okay, and you want to see if news is going to help push it to that point. All right. Okay, now I'm going to show you one last resource that I rely on to help me with my decisions sometimes. And when I first started trading, I was using a lot because I didn't understand a lot of this stuff that I'm showing you guys now. So, and this one is a paid resource that I like to use. Okay, I pay a monthly fee for this resource. I mean, I'm sorry, not a monthly fee. I pay a quarterly fee for this resource I'm about to show you next. This one is called marketclub.com. They have a unique system I kind of fell in love with. It's called trading in triangles. Pretty much, they have a trade triangle system. It helps you, see these trends. All right. So I'm already logged in, and I'm going to just show you guys one of the stocks that I'm looking at. Let's punch in AMD, for example. AMD. Let's hit view. What they're going to show you is they're going to show you their recommendation according to their trade triangle system. These trade triangles are very, very powerful. It's like a trend tracker. Okay. Now, I'm going to show you. Now, I probably got in the stock a little bit early. What happened was, and today is March the 13th, which is about a week ago. They issued a red weekly triangle, which means they can see this stock possibly having some, if you got a green monthly, green daily, but a red weekly, this stock could be in the middle of a range. It could be get ready to start trading in a range. Okay. Normally, what I like to see a green weekly triangle and a green monthly at least. Those are my momentum triangles. It tells me that this stock is in a strong uptrend. And then what I look for at that point is I look to have a green one. I look to get a green one. I want to see this one. I want to see these two, at least green, the monthly and the weekly. This one can be red, but when it turns green, that'll be my entry point. I want these two to be green. I want this one to be red. Okay. But I use this just as something to help me, see if some other source agrees with my direction. I don't rely on this by itself. I rely on the chart that I see. I rely on my charting system that I see. Okay, but I use that as a helpful hint to tell me whether or not this stock has the ability to continue its higher momentum. So what I saw this bounce. I went over to marketclub.com just to see if they gave me if they also have the same exact notion. I see that it has a strong longer term trend, which is the monthly trend. It got this up triangle on November the 3rd. So it got a green trade triangle on November the 3rd, which means that's a longer term trend. But it just issued a red weekly triangle on March 16th. I'm going to take you to one of their charts, and I'm going to explain something to you on one of their charts. If you look at their chart, you can actually remove these triangles, and you can see when they was issued, and you can see the pattern that the stock is moving in, which can also help you confirm your decision to get in and your decision to exit. Right now, I have all the daily triangles. When they issued the red one, which means sell, and then when they issued the green, which means buy. Okay, the last green daily that they issued was on March the 10th. The last red daily that they issued was on March the 2nd. So when they issued this March the 2nd, it was a sell signal because they said the stock was dropping, and it did. It dropped. Now they issued a green daily on March the 10th because the stock started to rise. Now we're on March the 13th. So that's good. But what about the weekly? Because the weekly is going to give you a longer term trend direction. So what happened was, which is why I say I may be in this a lot longer than what I planned to, because they issued, even though you have a green daily here, you got a red weekly right before that, which means they expected this stock to go even lower. So there's a powerful chance that this, this stock may not breach that 1555 price. It may test it, it may get back up to it, and it may pull back. That's what I'm gonna be looking for on this coming week. If it's going to get to this point and pull back. If it gets to this point and does not break this 1555, I may sell it and take the profits and look for a lower entry. Okay. So, and this weekly red triangle has kind of got my antennas up to be watching to see what the stock does for the rest of this week if we don't break that point. Okay. But it still has a strong monthly green signal, which was issued. Let's see if I can find it. I don't even see it on the chart. Let me put this weekly back up here. Oh, that's because it's off the screen. It's issued back here somewhere, but you can't really see it because it doesn't go back that far. But it has a strong longer-term trend. It's strong because it has a monthly longer-term trend, which means the stock is trending higher. But my goal right now, because I know it's going to be some pullbacks in there, so I actually got a call option on it, but it doesn't expire until October. So my goal is to stay in there at least until I pass that 1555, even through the pullbacks. So I'll probably stay in until I pass that 1555 for at least the next several months or so. All right, so this is another resource that I use. Just wanted to glance over that with you guys for that quick second. Now, I'm gonna show you guys one last thing. So that's pretty much the processes that I go through. I look for news. I look for chart my stock. I want to look at current charting patterns along with history, along with weekly and monthlies over the past 10, 15 years or so. Try to help my decision as well. Then I want to try to research some news by going to Yahoo Finance, and I want to try to see what the analysts think as well. Can you guys still see my screen? I think I went to the wrong page. I don't see, let me see. You guys still see my screen, right? Okay, all right, cool. All right, last thing that I'm opening up for questions, finviz.com. Now, somebody asked me before they tell me to use a scanner. Sometimes I do, but because I pretty much know what sectors I want to trade, what I'm looking for, I don't use them as much as I used to, all right? Now, one other tidbit also, which helps me with my trading. I'm not sure if you guys ever heard me talk about Bloomberg Radio or Bloomberg Television, but I watch Bloomberg Television every day. And when I say every day, I mean every day. So I want to see what's going on in our economy and in our world. And it also, sometimes it gives you, information about specific stocks. I actually heard them mention AMD on there this past weekend, about some of their forward guidance. So Bloomberg Television, if you guys are new, you really want to consume yourself with anything about economic, anything about world events, anything about stock trading or investing. You want to consume yourself with that information. Bloomberg Television and Bloomberg Radio is an excellent source, so you can see what's going on from day to day, minute to minute, with the overall market in general and with the world market in general. You want to know what's going on because everything affects everything. All right. Now, as far as finviz.com, a lot of people use it for different things. I use it for the screener. It has a very good screener source. And you can set your screen to whatever you want to, set it at. I got some presets in here. I recently got a new preset that I just used from somebody in our group. and I kind of tweaked it to my liking. And I can get to it real quick. And I titled it Growth Stocks. And because I'm an options trader, I added certain things on here. And this is how I did mine. Okay, and I didn't get a chance to look at it today, so I'm looking at it with you guys for the first time. I wanted to see what showed up today. I got it for this first section here. I got it. I want to look at the performance. I want the quarter to be up. I got a price target of over $3. You can make it lower if you want, or you can make, this right here. You can set these screeners up to what fits you. Float short. I want to have the under 20%. The lower the float, sometimes the better chance you have of getting into that particular stock. Performance. I want to see if it was up to date. I want it to be up to date. I want to see if it created new highs for the 50-day 50 low. I want to see a new high. I want average value to be over 100,000. I like options, so I want it to be optionable. Relative value, I made it 1. And it just had previous earnings over the past 5 days. Why that's important to me is because if it just had earnings, because sometimes after earnings, some stocks drop like crazy, or some stocks shoot up, and then they'll start to trickle down. But if a stock just had earnings over the past 5 days and it's still making new highs, that says it still has more room to run. That's what it says to me. All right. So then here's my results. Here's my results for what it gave me. It gave me Ulta, Fizz, and so on and so on and so forth. So let's pull one up. Let's pull one chart up. Let's take a look at the first one. AGFS. AGFS. Let's see what the chart looks like. And I'm looking at a daily chart. AGFS. See if the screener is telling me that this thing is really, really in an uptrend and create new highs or not. And lo and behold, the screener is on point. So this is a daily chart, and it shows that this thing had a big downtrend at one point. Hit here to this area, started trading in this range for a while, and now it's starting to trend higher. The 20-day moving average line is starting to follow. 20-day moving average line looks like it's ready to cross the 50, and then the next one I want to see it cross is the 100. Next one I want to see it cross is a 200, and I want to see it continue to go higher. You got 3 green candlesticks here, which are all trending higher. 3 white horses, some people call them. I think that's what they call it. And as you can see, it's starting to trend. It's starting an uptrend. And look at my screener, and that's what I asked for. I wanted to see what stocks were up for the quarter, over $3. A short float, which is under 20%. Up today, new highs, over 100,000. Had earnings over the past 5 days, optionable. Relative value at 1. And I did all that because this is going to show me something's actually trending after it had earnings. That's something that you want to see. If the stock is going to continue to trend after earnings, you got a chance to get into the stock and catch some of that momentum. All right? Let's look at another one, see if another one shows the same thing. INAP. Excuse my phone for going off so often, you guys. There's a lot of people just trying to send me so much information. All right, INAP. Let's look at that one. INAP. And this is from my screener setup. And voila, this one's also trending higher. Trending higher. Only thing with this one is I'll probably be careful myself because I told you guys what I like to do. I mean, I can probably get into it. This thing is really, really trending higher, and it's up here and it's over border area. Not to say that it will not continue to travel in this over border area, because it can do it for a significant amount of time, and I'll show you an example. It can stay up here for a significant amount of time. You can try to get in now, you know what I'm saying, but you're getting it at a resistance point. In other words, it's been let me see. It's at 325 now. Has it been here yet? It's been in this area. It's kind of like it's trying to approach this $4.21 area. That'll probably be a good resistance point to sell and get out. So it may have some more room to run, but that's also a stock that's trending. It's still trending higher even after positive earnings. All right, let's look at a couple more. One I want to get to specifically because everybody knows Ulta. Look at Alta. It's a very expensive stock, but it has options. And this thing is very expensive and is also very volatile. Alta, ULTA. And my screener shows that this one is trending higher as well. And it's right now right at 285. It's already passed a previous high of 278. So this one more than likely is going to continue to trend higher. You've got some other indicators that are also showing the same thing. All right. So see one more on these screeners. Let's see. Let's look at biotech sector has really been doing great. Let's look at ATRA. Let's check that one out. ATRA. Daily chart on that one. And after earnings, this thing really shot up. Look at that one. It has really shot up and it has not stopped. So because we're looking at a daily chart, this is how long it's been shooting up for the past 3 days. 1, 2, 3, 4 green candles. And it's just approaching areas that it's been at before, 2340, which is where it's been at before. It's a possible chance that it'll shoot right through all of these. It's a huge possible chance before it starts to pull back. And it's just getting in the overbought territory, so it may have more room to run. All right. So that's another way you can look to start, set up a scan system. I love using FinViz scanner, and I really love this new scanner that I just set up, and I'll probably be using this one quite often. All right. Now, if anybody got any questions, you can go ahead and ask me now because we're about to end this webinar. Hopefully, some of this information was useful. All right. So, did anybody, catch something new tonight, or for some of you beginners, did you learn anything tonight from the information that I showed you? If you did, just type yes. Awesome. Billy says yes. Good. This will be in our archive. It's going to be on our YouTube channel. It is recorded. So if you want to go back and review this, you can. Also on our YouTube channel, there's other videos that I've done myself. Omar Soba has quite a few there. Lucien has recorded quite a few. And there's quite a few also if you go to our, if you want to see some, review some of our training courses, go to our website, like I told you before, www.bullishbears.com. And you can review some of our training courses there. All right. All right, you guys. Hopefully this was some good information that you can use in the future. Hopefully as a new trader, this help open up your eyes as to the minds of somebody's personal trading style. All right. All right, you guys. I enjoyed you guys' company tonight. Until the next time, I am signing off. Have an awesome night.